Hold on, the stream should have video in a minute. It's loading the game. Alright. Should have video. There we go. Alright, now we are live. So, hi. I know you probably don't expect this because it's very different, but before we get into the game, I would like to say something. As you may be able to tell, the Titanfall servers are back, so allow me to say something. I would like to call to action all prior and now Titanfall players to rise up. Rise up and make content again, and demand more attention to Titanfall. There has recently been a supposed leak for Titanfall 3, and even if it isn't real, we must still have hope. We must demand them to drop Titans, not legends. Spread our word and fight. Fight for the frontier. Thank you. And now, without further ado, for the first time, I'm pretty sure, on this channel, allow me to show you the cinematic and gameplay masterpiece that is widely known as Titanfall 2. Alright, so I'm probably going to play the campaign at some point on here because I have played the campaign on Master to tell you guys before I finished it. But I'm definitely gonna put up a stream or like videos or something of me playing the campaign on Master. I definitely will. But, hold on, before I start. Let me just make sure. Alright. Sorry, I did check something. Hold on. Trying to check if there's anything. Hold on. Oh, so that's what advanced look controls is. You know what? I'll just keep it how it is. I think it's perfect the way it is. I just put it on high sensitivity, so ADS is the same for, I don't know. Anyways, so there's a lot to show here, but let me just start with the pilots. I'm not like a video essay channel, as you probably know, and I'm not gonna be able to thoroughly explain everything. But I'll try my best before we get into this to be swift and still explain properly. So you got your tactical, your left bumper button, which has a generally medium cooldown. It's not that long, not that short, you know how these types of abilities usually work. Cloak, become nearly invisible. Cloak has increased effectiveness versus Titans, which means you're completely invisible to Titans, and you have that like glass halo type invisibility against pilots, but they can still see your jump jets when you double jump, which this is what the jump jet kit is. It allows you to wall run and double jump. Whenever you double jump, you have these little spurts of fire come out of your jump jet kit, and when you're invisible, it makes you more visible, so that's why you'd probably want to use a kit to help you later, but we'll talk about that later. Pulse Blade, expose enemies through all surfaces with this sonar pulse emitting throwing knife. Basically, you throw down a knife, and it sticks to a surface, and it sonar pulses like a certain radius around it, even through walls too, and it just scans, and when it finds an enemy, it highlights it through the wall. And it's not like even a particularly big area, but it works, and also it instant kills pilots when you hit it, but it's really difficult to hit them. It's easier, or it's not easier, it's harder than it looks, I'm pretty sure. Because a lot of people make it look easy when they've practiced a lot. Grappling hook, I think that's, self-explanatory. You use the tactical, you shoot it at some sort of surface, it starts grappling you towards that surface. You can still jump and move around a bit and double jump when grappling towards stuff, and that creates some really cool movement. And there's a bunch of different videos you can watch about this game's movement. They're really cool, and this game's engine for movement, I'm pretty sure, is pretty advanced. But anyways, there's also sliding, which whenever you're running, you can click crouch button, you slide, self-explanatory. Stim quickly heals and boosts your speed for a short time, self-explanatory. It heals you, boosts your speed, got it. AWOL, particle shield. So basically, you throw down this like pancake, right? It looks like the fucking LMG that Tachanka uses in R6, the LMG mag that Tachanka uses. You just throw that down, except it just displays a like wall, I guess, of sorts. Like, take this guy's size, right? Take that guy's size and then put another one of him right next to him. That's about as big as the shield. Maybe another like half of him, but like otherwise it's effectively just two pilots. That's like the width of the shield. And the height of the shield is just a pilot. That's their height. And basically it amps outgoing shots, prevents incoming shots, and has a surprising amount of health. You can even use it against Titans for a short amount of time, unless they just walk through it. Phase shift. Teleport into an alternate space for a short time. If you played Apex Legends, it's Wraith ability. If you haven't, then you click a button, you go into this alternate dimension where you can't see anyone and they can't see you, and then you pop out after a short time. Holopilot. Create a holographic copy of yourself mimicking your actions when activated. When you activate it, if you're running, sliding, jumping, wall running, it just mimics that action until it either hits a wall, or like, aka stops, or gets shot in any way. And it makes a sound when disappearing, or, yeah, it makes a sound when it disappears, which is supposed to help you, but this takes usually more skill to use than the average pilot ability, because it's not super useful unless you know how to use it, obviously, but, takes a while to get used to it if you want to use it. But it is pretty cool, and he looks like a stormtrooper, which is funny. Anyways, so next you go on to your weapons. You have to have your primary weapon in this slot, but you can have your anti-titan and pistol in either of these two slots. The only difference is that with this one, you need to hold down Y to get to, or I guess you could also put some sort of like thing where it's like up on the like up D-pad does this, right D-pad does this, and then down D-pad does that, something like that. But moving on. You got your primaries. Obviously, I haven't unlocked everything yet, and I used to have, like, everything unlocked. It used to be high level, but, I'm working my way back up. So, obviously, you got your assault rifles, you got your basic ones, your burst fires, your precision rifles, and dear God, is this thing a menace, because it kills literally anyone in 2 shots. I see it used so much. Oh, man, Jesus. The flatline, it's also just a assault rifle, but it just packs a bit more of a punch than most assault rifles. You got your submachine guns. Don't use this thing. If you use this thing, you will be publicly shamed, and fucking any time that you even appear in any Titanfall match or forum or anything, you will be publicly shamed and executed for all to see. Do not use the car, I beg of you. Anyone listening to this, do not use the car. Everyone hates it, including me, but if you're new, I'll give you a pass, obviously. Most people would. They're like, hey, don't use it. So just please don't. The alternator is a SMG. It does 75 damage. It's twin barrel. It fires from one barrel and then it fires the other, and then it does that over and over very quickly. Energy actuated SMG. The fact that it's energy actuated doesn't do anything. It just makes the bullets look cool, pretty much. It's just it's really accurate, I guess, is its thing. It's really accurate. It's got 90 accuracy, 40 range, same as the car. The fire rate is slower than most. The damage is midway. It's a little lower than car's damage. Same with this one, a little lower than cars. Not as much accuracy, not as much range, but has super fucking fast fire rate. So there's your SMGs, you got your light machine guns. They're just assault rifles, pretty much, that do damage and fire slower. So you got your devotion, ramps up fire rate over time. It's like those Hyperion weapons from Borderlands. The more you hold down the trigger, the faster the fire rate gets. It's got 50 accuracy, 75 range, 50 fire rate, you can see for yourself. This one, the L-Star, dear God, this thing, why is this thing, I feel like this thing is really good for no reason. But it does usually, I don't usually see a lot of people using it, so there must be some sort of drawback to it that I don't see here in the stats, I guess. Maybe it's harder to aim, maybe it's a little unpredictable, I don't know. But, maybe it's because the low accuracy, like 34, probably. All of these ranges are the same, 75. Somewhat fluctuating fire rates, but effectively the same fire rates. Damage is the devotion. I think it has a maximum or so damage of 85, but like I think the damage may yeah, I don't know. But like I was saying, maximum damage of 85, and each bullet does 85 still, but it just ramps up fire rate, so it's easier to hit targets. Yeah, you get the basics of the LMG. Sniper rifle, Kraber. This thing has a longer history than you would even, I don't even know what to compare it to. But as you can see, it does 100 damage, kills any pilot in one shot. But the drawback isn't the low fire rate, isn't the range, isn't the accuracy. It's the least accurate sniper, but that's only because of one thing. It has a pretty immense bullet drop, and the bullets are surprisingly slow. It's still a sniper, it still goes pretty bullet speed, obviously. But it's like if you took any old regular sniper, cranked it up to the max without adding any futuristic parts. So it is the final evolution of the modern sniper, effectively. And then you have this one, twin take sniper rifle, which just is a sniper rifle that fires 2 bullets at the same time. I think each of them do 83 damage, or both of them do like half of 80 damage or something. I don't exactly know, you'd have to figure it out for yourself. You can see the stats. All of the stats for the sniper rifles are effectively the same, a little fluctuating, as per usual with most of these. Longbow, it's a DMR, semi-auto sniper. Honestly, I feel like out of the 3 of these, I would probably prefer longbow since it does 90 damage, so you can kill your enemies in just like 2 shots. It's got good accuracy, the fire rate's higher than the rest of them. I personally think I like it, but I don't really use snipers. As you can see, I have something in the grenadier category. EVA 8 auto. Okay, so these 2 weapons are vastly different. EVA 8 auto. A shotgun with low accuracy, obviously. Low range, makes sense. 34 fire rate. It's a fully automatic shotgun, and each shot does 70 damage. That's the gist of it. No one will grudge you for using it. It's a basic shotgun. It's cool. It works for a lot of different playstyles. This thing, everyone fucking hates this thing. It's not as widely spread as the car. Some people don't care, some people hate it, some people generally dislike it, but the general consensus is that anyone that doesn't use it usually has some sort of dislike for it, because of the fact it does 80 damage per shot, has 89 accuracy for a shotgun. And what it does is it fires like 5 bullets in a wide spread instead of a this spreads out in like a square pattern, you know, like it spreads out in a cone like shotgun pellets would. This one has 5 bullets that spread out in like, how would I say it? Imagine a triangle going out the front of that barrel, right? Imagine that. That's the spread. There's just the top of a triangle is where it comes out of, and then it spreads out to the other 2 ends of the bottom of the triangle. It's hard to explain, but effectively it fires 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullets all side by side, not in a spread pattern. So it's really easy to just hit like 3 bullets on them and then instantly kill them. So just generally people don't like it because it's really easy to aim because it's hard to miss. Okay, and then you got your grenadier, which is explosives-based weapons. I know I'm taking a while to explain this, but this is more of like learning for people who haven't played Titanfall and hoping that people who haven't see this stream or the VOD and think, oh, hey, that's cool. So yeah, don't worry, I'll get into the actual game soon enough. We're almost finished anyways. The Sidewinder rapidly fires micro missiles. It's self-explanatory. The micro missiles have a little explosion radius, but not a ton. They each do 53 damage. Not a lot of people use most of the stuff from the Grenadier category, unless you're in Frontier Defense, which I'll talk about later. Yeah. EPG, this is my all-time favorite weapon. The Kraber was maybe a close second to this, but this thing is my all-time favorite weapon. You may think, well, it seems like, oh, the accuracy is 100, the range is 100. That's why it's your favorite. Technically, yes. What it does is it fires a single giant ball of energy that goes kinda slow. Like, it can generally be dodged if you're at long range, it can generally be dodged. It has a somewhat large explosive radius, but still. Basically, it says it does 83 damage, but if you hit anyone at all in the body, it instantly kills them. But you do need to be able to aim really well with this and predict where it's going to go, because it is pretty damn slow. That's why, as you can see in the back, I have Scorch. If you played this game before, you can tell my playstyle already. It's predictive shit. The softball, the softball's okay. It's just mostly used for frontier defense. Or at least in my opinion, it's the best weapon for frontier defense. It's a grenade launcher, self-explanatory. Cold War, 4-round burst weapon. Effectively the exact same as the EPG, but you have to wait a few seconds for it to charge up, and then it shoots out it rapidly shoots out 4 projectiles that are just pretty much the EPG projectiles, but they have a little bit more drop. But otherwise, effectively the EPG projectiles, they just do a little less damage, and they don't instantly give you if they hit you in the body. I think it's 2 and it kills you. So yeah, I feel like it's a more spammy version of EPG, but I don't care really if you use it. Obviously, you can use what you want. A lot of people just prefer different weapons. I don't know, it's just whatever. Pistol. This is your primary pistols. There's a difference between your primary pistols and your pistols. So in your primary pistol, you have the Wingman Elite, extended range projectile pistol with stock scope. It's like a mini Kraber, effectively. It's just a mini Kraber, except it doesn't kill in one hit. You need to hit 2, and then it is 25 because, like I said, the projectiles like the Krabers, it's difficult to hit. The range is 60, fire rate 27, whatever. It's just really accurate pistol. Extra extended range projectile pistol. Yeah, controlled spread triple barrel shotgun pistol. So you'd think people would hate this, right? Because it is just a mini Mastiff, right? You're wrong though. It's not just a mini Mastiff. Each projectile does 57 damage. If you were to hit 2 out of the 3 projectiles, they would instantly be dead. But this thing is a lot harder to hit than the Mastiff and has gained a reputation in Apex for being bad, but in Titanfall it's actually somewhat usable. Moving on, you have your regular pistols. I usually have pistols in my secondary. You can have your anti-Titans in your secondary, whatever. So, you got your RE45, your standard pistol, but it's just full auto. Your Hammond P2016, which is your real standard pistol, kills in 2 shots, has pretty high accuracy, medium range. You got your Wingman, which is the little brother of the Wingman Elite. The difference, I'm not exactly sure what. I haven't checked exclusively. Hold on. 88, 91. This one I think does a little more damage. Okay, wait. 25, 60, 27, 25, 60, 27. 25, 60, 27. So it has a little more range, and it has less accuracy, the Wingman Elite. The Wingman Elite has less accuracy, more range, and more damage. so it's a little more of a gamble, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I already explained the Wingman Elite. Don't need to explain the Wingman. Finally, in the weapons category, you got your anti-titans. This has been the hard part. Everything else will be a breeze to explain. So you got your charge rifle, charged precision beam anti-titan sniper. It's self-explanatory. You charge it up, it shoots out a mini Kamehameha, and then it hits the titans, does damage. That's it. It just does a lot of damage to titans. Like the rest of the anti-titans, it's made for titans. Although, if you hit a fully charged beam on a pilot, it instantly kills them, which I assume there has been many montages in the past made for that, or at the very least, many kills in the past in montages that were used, that charge rifle was used in. MGL, magnetic grenade launcher, it's just think of softball, but it fires faster, does a little less damage, and instantly attracts two titans, since it's magnetic. So yeah, the Thunderbolt, which is, I'm pretty sure, the biggest out of all the anti-titans. Yeah, it is, technically. It's just an anti-titan EPG, I'm gonna be honest with you. The only difference is that when it passes by a titan or a person, it does passive damage whenever it's close to them, because it has strands of electricity coming out of it and everything. So yeah, but it does a shit ton of damage if you hit it up close. Ignore the 68 damage, that's just a general stat. It still, I feel like it does more damage. I mean, the charge rifle is cool and all, but it takes a lot of charge up. MGL just generally does less damage. This thing you have to lock on. This thing is just your generic lock-on rocket launcher. It's for use against titans. Yeah. Warns you they're locking on. When you fire, a lot of titans are still able to use their defensive ability to mitigate the rocket, either completely or just mitigate the damage. So yeah. I personally don't use it because even in the campaign, most of the time, even in the campaign or in Frontier Defense, most of the time, the Auto Titans will just dodge it. I swear those Auto Titans be on some shit sometimes. But anyways, continuing on, these are the last few things. You got your grenades. Frag grenade, self-explanatory. An old master of fragging, quite literally, taught me how to perfectly cook these things and hit someone in the head with them like they're a potato and then explode. Arc grenade stuns pilots and blinds titans. Self-explanatory again, it's just like the frag grenade, except I think it has a shorter fuse and it does what it says it does. It stuns pilots, it slows their movement pretty significantly, and it completely like blinds titans for a minute. It scrambles up their view. Not technically completely blinds them, but it makes it impossible to discern what's happening. Fire star, incendiary throwing star. Effectively, you throw a star down, it makes a little pool of thermite around it, and you get close to it, you hurt. Gravity star. Pulls in enemies and projectiles before exploding. You throw down a gravity star, any enemies, any projectiles, any grenades, anything gets caught in it, and after a short amount of time, it explodes, which will not only explode all the ammunition and like grenades and everything in it, but also the people, which usually ends up killing them, especially if they try to throw a grenade. I have died like many times like that, gotten caught in a gravity star, forgot, threw a grenade, and it just comes back and kills me. Electric smoke grenade, carp scenario with electric smoke. You just throw a smoke grenade, except it does damage, and it's better on Frontier Defense against like large areas of like grunts and stalkers and like, you know, ground units that aren't sentient, because most people will just run away from it. Most actual people. The satchel. It's C4. 2 remotely detonated heavy explosives. It's C4. It's the most effective ordnance in Frontier Defense, right in front of electric smoke. Electric smoke is second. You can stick it to Titans as well as pretty much any surface. Yeah, that's about it. Finally, I'm not going to talk about executions. You know what executions are pretty much definitely from Call of Duty. If you're behind someone, you can hold down... If you're behind someone and you're close to them, you can hold down the melee button and execute them. You can unlock different executions by executing pilots or killing pilots in a special way, or just straight up buying them with credits that you can earn over time, or getting them from an advocate gift, which is just pretty much this game's version of loot boxes. You sometimes get them after a match, but I feel like it's still good. I don't know why Overwatch fucking changed it. They were fine. But anyways, so you got your first kit. You got fast regen. Health regeneration begins sooner. I usually use this one since it's a lot easier whenever you're in a fight for the regen to begin sooner. Power cell. Tactical is more readily available and it has a faster cooldown. That is usually good if you're going for like a sneaky loadout. You know, you want to be able to cloak more often. That works. By the way, hey viewer, welcome to the stream. To be honest, I'm streaming right now so that people can see the VOD when I'm done, but it is cool that someone actually joined. Ordnance Expert. Ordnance is more readily available, has a faster cooldown, enables you to see the projected trajectory of your ordnance. You can see where it's gonna go by an orange line that projects out that I don't think anyone else can see. Whenever you hold out your ordnance, like your grenade or fire star, it'll project a little line of where it's gonna go, and and it gives you a faster cooldown. This is generally for people that want to get a lot of kills with frags, but don't really have the experience of actually knowing how long they need to cook them. Not even any shame on people like that, because obviously cooking frags is hard. It took me fucking forever to learn the sweet spot. Phase embark, quickly teleport into your Titan. Instead of the Titan like opening his cockpit and you get in and then it closes his cockpit, you just phase into the cockpit, and it's generally a lot quicker. And with Ion, it's an energy-based Titan. Don't worry about exactly what it is. This is very useful for one reason, and I'll explain it later. Kit 2, Kill Report. Enemy death locations are marked by skulls on the HUD. Self-explanatory. Wall hang onto walls by aiming while wall running. Once again, self-explanatory. You stop running on the wall and you stay anchored there while you're aiming. Generally, I would use this as soon as I unlock it, because I think you get these two when you first, get the game. These two automatically unlock. I'd usually, even though I barely used it, it's still better than knowing where enemies are dying. It's not like that's super useful. Hover, aiming while airborne, allows you to hover. That's about it. It's self-explanatory. You use your jump jet kit to like hover mid-air and you kind of keep your momentum, but it slows you down a little bit. Low profile, no jump jet trails, and silent Titan rodeo climbing. Okay, this may sound confusing, but it's really not. Okay, so you know how I was talking about cloak earlier, and I was saying how the only thing that can make you visible to Titans, or just generally more visible whenever you're cloaked, is your jump jet trails, when using your jump jet when wall running or jumping around. I think wall running. I don't know if it's used when wall running. Well, this is the kit that helps you. No jump jet trails means they can't see it. They're completely invisible, so you're a lot less visible to pilots and completely invisible to Titans, which is just absolutely terrifying to people. Not to mention the fact that silent Titan rodeo climbing. So basically, what you can do in this game is you can get on the backs of enemy Titans, the giant robots, and pull out one of their batteries. And not only does this give you a battery to use on your Titan, which helps up its health, give it its shields back, stuff like that, it also damages the other Titan to a pretty large degree. I think it's like a fourth of a Titan's health or something like that when you pull out their battery. Probably less though. But this makes it to where whenever you rodeo on a Titan, not only can they hear you clambering on its back, but they can also see the alert that's on their HUD whenever you do that. Basically, it gives them an alert whenever you're rodeoing on them. It's like, hey, enemy pilot on exterior. And then you can use your electric smoke, which is your defensive ability against pilots as a Titan, which you deploy electric smoke. It hurts pilots that are on your back, and it stays there for a while, so pilots are discouraged to just get off and get back on. And also, little tip, whenever you're using a Titan and you use your electric smoke to get a pilot off of you, usually the best thing you can do is crouch down, so that even if they jump off of you, they still have to, like, they still have to have time to double jump and like find a wall to run to get out of it. So yeah, crouch down and use electric smoke when a pilot is on you. When you're Titan. Titan Hunter. Titan meter is increased from damaging Titan. Titan meter earned from damaging Titans is increased by 10%. I don't know why this is in here. It's not exactly bad, not exactly good. It's just for people who really, really want their Titans and want as much advantage and as much Titan meter earning as fast as possible. 10% isn't that much, but you know, you do you if you really want to be in your Titan all that much. To be fair, they're giant robots, they're cool. Yeah. That is it for the pilots. So let me talk about the Titans. I know this is going to be a long stream just for this portion, and if you're watching the VOD, I wouldn't blame you if you skip this portion, because technically you don't need to know what all the Titans do to watch this shit and have fun, but like, I still would recommend if you haven't played this game before to watch this. If you had played this game before, then by all means, skip this. And if you have played this game before and you want to know more about the Titans, but don't want to hear like from an hour-long video, if you want to hear more about the specifics of Titanfall, go watch this very cool YouTuber. He hasn't uploaded for a while, but he's generally covered most of the basics. It's called The Flying Teacup. You guys should definitely watch him if you really want more like in-depth guides. I'm just giving a general guide here for people that haven't played before, so I can hopefully persuade them to play. So I'm gonna go with all the kits and everything first before I do anything. Alright, so first off, you have your Titan kit, which is a general kit that is the same for all Titans. You have Assault Ship, improves Auto Titan precision and enables the use of offensive and utility abilities. Every single Titan, as you can see here in this big menu at the bottom left, has a R1, L1, and triangle ability. Their defensive, hold on, what was it again? Offensive and utility. So, Auto Titans can use their defensive, as you can see is their L1, the Vortex Shield, blocks and returns incoming fire. It sucks in all bullets and projectiles for a short amount of time and then shoots them back whenever you stop holding up the shield. Your utility ability and your offensive ability, I don't remember exactly which one is which. I think your utility or your ordnance ability is your R1, and then your triangle is your other one, but I don't exactly know. It doesn't exactly matter either. But either way, this chip allows your Auto Titan, aka your Titan when you're not in it. It's not just a mech suit, it's also a robot. When you're not in your Titan, it improves their aim or their precision and enables the use of the offensive and utility abilities, basically making it to where they're able to use all your abilities. They can't use the core, no, because that's your like ultimate ability or whatever. That's your ultimate. When you're a pilot, your ultimate is calling in the Titan. When you're Titan, your ultimate is your core, which is your heavy chest-fired laser cannon. As you can see, each Titan also has their own unique kit. For Ion, it's obviously the Ion kit. It's named after each Titan. You got Entangled Energy, Splitter Rifle, critical hits restore energy. I'm going to try to be as brisk as possible because there's a lot of Titans and they have a lot of nuance. Basically, the Ion has this little mechanic where whenever he does anything, pretty much, laser shot, vortex shield, tripwire, it drains what he has, an energy bar. It drains his energy bar. Like, as you can see, each of the abilities use energy, and as you can see at the bottom left, in the bottom right of that little menu, it says whenever something has a little like tilde next to it, I think is what they're called, it means it drains energy. So shooting your rifle doesn't drain energy, but it doesn't do that much damage, like barely does any damage. It takes like 7 shots to kill a pilot. But when you use your alt fire, aka you aim down sights and fire, it does a stronger split shot. It splits your rifle into multiple parts, or it splits your fire into multiple, lines, I guess. It splits your firing into multiple lines. It makes your cone of fire, your cone of death, effectively wider. Excuse me. So yeah, whenever you hit whenever you hit a Titan in a critical spot, it restores some energy, but it's so little that it doesn't really matter that much. 0-point tripwire. Tripwire deployment uses 0 energy. You know what a tripwire is, laser triggered explosive mines. Yeah. It just tells you tripwire deployment uses 0 energy. Vortex amplifier. Increases vortex shield's return damage output by 35%. So this is actually pretty cool because of the fact that already when you return fire to someone, it usually does quite a bit of damage because obviously they're aiming to kill you, so they're going to fire as much as possible. And if you put your vortex shield up randomly, they'll just be like, and then you'll return their fire. It'll hurt them. But it especially works on an upcoming Titan that'll come up later, Legion. He has a giant minigun. All like Legion mains effectively, I think it was Legion and also one other class, but I don't remember. Whenever you put up your vortex shield, they obviously stop firing. But if you just put it back down and put it back up, apparently their brain short circuits and they know that you're never going to put it back up again after you put it down, so they just keep firing. I don't know, dude. It's there's a lot of rumors. But anyways, continuing onwards. As you can tell, damage output by 35%, 135% damage of their own bullets and shit back to them. That does damage. Laser core lasts longer. It's self-explanatory. Laser core lasts longer. Refraction lens, instead of splitting the rifle like 3 ways, it splits 5 ways, which is really useful when using an auto titan because not only do they not, your auto titan doesn't have an energy limit, so it can do whatever it wants, but so it'll most likely use the splitter rifle when it can, like when it, any chance it gets. This is really useful because not only are they not the best, they're not the like most accurate, but yeah, like I said, they can use however much energy they want. And as I was talking about earlier, Phase Embark is really useful for Ion. Funny thing, when you get out of Ion and get back into Ion, it restores all your energy. So with Phase Embark, you can quickly get out and quickly get back in, and all your energy is back. Which is kinda busted. Not super busted though, because people can still kill you when you get out. There's still a short amount of time you're out. So yeah. And then your Titanfall kit. For the sake of simplicity, I'm not going to explain, obviously, these 2 kits every time, because they're the same for each Titan. Dome Shield protects your Titan after Titanfall. You call in your Titan, it takes like 4 seconds to drop down, and it has a Dome Shield around it that protects you and your Titan when they're in it. It disappears after a short while, but when you get in and your Titan's booting up and everything, it won't get hurt. Now, Warp Fall. Warp Ball, it takes like 2 seconds to drop, and you can get in, like, you know, obviously as fast as you could with Dome Shield, and it boots up, but it's not protected, so people can just shoot it when it drops down, not to mention they can just shoot it when you're getting in, hurting it before you even have a chance to retaliate, so yeah. But, funny thing, when you call down your Titan, if your Titan falls down on another Titan, it instantly kills them. But it almost never happens because people get a warning. Like, whenever, you know, you call down your Titanfall and it's like on top of another Titan, the enemy Titan will get a warning saying like, enemy Titanfall detected, or something like that. And they'll know, oh shit, I gotta move out of the way. With Warp Fall though, you don't got as much of a warning because it's only like 2 seconds. So, you know, pretty ballsy move if you want to use it, but it is very cool whenever you do manage to kill someone with it. Alright, and before we move on, one last thing. Titan executions. Unlike pilot executions, you can't just unlock Titan executions. Basically, each Titan has their prime version. When you buy it, it doesn't do anything except give you an exclusive chassis, aka your exoskeleton, which, as you can see for Ion, not a huge difference, but there's a difference. Gives you unique sound effects. I'm pretty sure it's unique sound effects, like maybe their voice is different, I think. They're like, your OS voice is different. But the most important thing, in my opinion, is a new execution. So, as you can see, Titan execution, that's locked. So with this one, disarm your opponent. Ion, effectively, whenever your Titan loses all its health, it goes into doomed state. Effectively, it gets, I'm sorry I said effectively again, but it has a second health bar. But this health bar is not only quite a bit less than the original, if anyone punches you, you go into an execution. Which, what an execution is it's a pretty much a cutscene. You know how executions work on pilots. It's just for Titans. But you don't have to be behind a Titan. You have to just have them in doomed state. And you punch them, and then they instantly die when the execution is over. But obviously, executions are pretty flashy, and people can see them, and people know, hey, you'll be vulnerable probably when you get out of that, or something like that. I don't know. But, execution instantly kills the enemy Titan whenever you're done, and it also doesn't mean means you don't have to deal with their second health bar, even though it's more fragile. So each Titan has their default execution. With this guy, the enemy Titan in the execution tries to punch him, he catches it, uses his laser shot to take off that arm that they punched with, beat them with it, and then stick his splitter rifle in their cockpit, and then shoot, and obviously that kills the Titan. Personally, I prefer it. It just looks a lot cooler than this. I mean, it doesn't even look cool. I don't know. I just prefer it. In my opinion, these three are only worth it. These three are worth it if you like the Titan, obviously. I'd recommend you only get the Titan Prime that you like. Otherwise, it's just a waste. These three are kind of worth it, but the rest of these aren't really that worth it. Not even necessarily because their Prime looks bad or because their execution is bad. I just generally think that their other executions, like their Prime executions and their Prime chassis, look meh. Monarch doesn't have a Prime, and there's a reason for that. I'll get into her later. As you can see, she's pretty complicated. But anyways, yeah. Moving on. You got Scorch. Scorch kit, Wildfire launcher. So he has pretty much a giant flare launcher. You know how I was talking about Firestar? Effectively, he has that, but it's a launcher, and it's scaled up a shit ton. Also, it instantly kills pilots if you hit them with it. Also, Firestar does too, but it's just like, it sticks to them and it kills them over time, but it's quick. But this guy just fires a big giant ball of thermite, which just has a small, makes a small pool of thermite, damaging thermite wherever it lands. Big flare gun, effectively. Wildfire launcher. Increased direct damage and thermite from the T203 thermite launcher. Basically, makes your gun more gun. As a wise man once said, if a problem is still a problem after you use gun, use more gun. But still, it's a problem because this thing only has one shot in the chamber and you need to reload it each time. There's no, like, ammo limit or anything, you just need to reload it each time. So, yeah, if you miss, then... If you can't hit your shots really well, then this kit is worthless. And it's generally not as good as the other ones. Tempered plating. Scorch is immune to crits, which usually his crits would be his head, like his face area, like his, I guess, the big eyeball thing, and the vents. That would usually be his crit spots. And also, if you damage a limb on a Titan enough, it'll break off the armor, and that limb will become a new critical spot. That can't really be fixed. You can, like, that can't really be fixed. That's just a problem. But with this, not only is he immune to crits, even when that happens, even when one of his armor breaks off, not only that, but also, he's immune to his own thermite damage. So he can't get hurt by his own fire. People say, I've heard some people joke and say that it's for pussies, and I understand, but also, you gotta at least try it once, because it feels like whenever you put down your trap, whenever you have, like, this big pool of thermite in front of you and shit, you just, like, people are like, alright, that's sealed off, but whatever, and then they, like, go another direction, and they just see you walking through the fire, your Scorch's legs burning, but then he just pats himself down and just starts charging at them, like, it's cool, I don't know, and also it's just generally a quality of life thing, I like it, but yeah. Also, if you were worried before, this game does not have, like, individual body part damage for Titans. No, it's just that's a unique thing that happens whenever one of their limbs gets hurt enough. It does not have individual shit. Your arm cannot be shot off, and you cannot use that arm anymore. No, that would generally be too much, I feel like. I'm lucky they didn't add that. They might in Titanfall 3, if Titanfall 3 is even coming out. But anyways, there's been a leak, as I said before. Anyways, Inferno Shield. Increased damage and duration for Thermo Shield. You can get an entire, pretty much no matter what Titan, I think, you can get a Titan down from full health to doomed state with just full use of Inferno Shield. And obviously, if they dash away, then, you know, they might not get doomed state, but you can still shoot them. And it has increased duration as well, but obviously you have the drawback of not being able to walk in your own fire, which is very inconvenient, because you'll block off areas so Titans can't get through there, and also you'll lay traps at their feet and so it can block off areas and do damage to them. But like at the same time, you also can't walk through there now, which is generally annoying when you're a slow boy. It's annoying to find a new path. So I prefer thermal plating. Firewall's cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds. Okay, that's not super good. It's just 2 seconds. And Scorched Earth, whenever he uses his Flame Core, Thermite Shockwave that engulfs targets along his path. So basically, he slammed the ground like Hulk, and it does this like earthquake type effect where he sends like a wave of thermite forward. It's on the ground, so if like a pilot were to jump or something, you know, obviously it wouldn't hit them, but or if a Titan were to like fly, which only North Star can do that, then it wouldn't hit them since it travels along the ground. But yeah, and it stops whenever it like hits a wall. Not if it hits a Titan, if it hits specifically like a wall or something. Also, for all of his abilities like Flame Core and Firewall, fires a directed wall of thermite. Basically, just you slam your fist on the ground, and it fires a straight line of thermite, which has fire arising from it, and it does damage to people when they try to pass through it. And they can still pass through it, but it does damage. Whenever he does any of those can't travel up ledges. They can travel up slopes, not ledges, but they can drop down ledges. It's kind of weird, but it makes sense. But anyways, I told you all about the kits. I probably should have told you about the abilities first, but I just gave you a quick rundown. Thermal Shield melts incoming fire and burns nearby enemies. Self-explanatory. It stops projectiles by melting them, and then also can melt enemies. Incendiary Trap fills an area with thermite ignitable gas. The gas itself doesn't do any damage, but when you shoot your launcher at it, when you shoot your thermite launcher or your firewall or use your thermal shield or even your flame core, which I wouldn't usually recommend trying to do that, but it'll still be cool. It'll ignite the trap, and it'll make this giant area of like thermite. So yeah, it's not like it ignites the gas and makes a gas wall that you can't pass through. No, it's just like a very large area around the trap on the ground, and it prevents people from passing. This guy is about fire, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, and we've already gone through all the other kits for him. North Star. Alright, let's talk about his core. Hover, unleashing rockets at targets below. So, let me tell you guys, I almost forgot to do this, but since we're getting into the different things, let's use the first three as an example. Scorch is called an Ogre class. He, as you can see by those little stars on the bottom right, has a lot of health, the max amount of health, and also does a lot of damage, but I already told you about that. And low mobility. That's the same for Legion, who is the only other Ogre class. A lot of health, low mobility, also a lot of potential damage. But anyways, Ion and Tone are not Vanguard. Fuck, what was it again? I don't remember, but they're the medium class of Titan. They have this guy specifically has low damage, but usually they have medium damage. Yeah, Tone is the perfect example of mediocre right now. Medium damage, medium health, medium mobility. And then you have the Strider classes, which have the lowest health possible, but both of them have high mobility because they have 2 dashes installed, and they have differing amounts of damage. 3 damage, max damage, and 2 damage. Okay. And before we move on, I think I completely forgot to actually talk about any of the other things in the Titan kit. Stealth auto eject. Automatically eject and cloak when your Titan is doomed, preventing pilot death. So whenever your Titan is doomed, you automatically eject, obviously, and your pilot cloaks in the air so you can't be shot out of the air when your Titan is doomed. No matter what people do, as soon as you're doomed, you cannot be executed at all. No matter what, you just cannot. Turbo engine. So, effectively, each Titan has an ability called dash. It replaces your jump. You click it, they dash forward. It's faster than just running. That's it. It's an ability. It's dashing. That's it. And each Titan has a different amount of dash. Scorch and Legion have 1 dash. Tone and Ion also have 1 dash, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Ion and Tone have 1 dash. North Star and Ronin have 2. Monarch also has 1, I think. I'm not exactly sure. I think he also has 1. But I'm pretty sure that Tone and like Ion and Monarch all have like lower cooldowns to their dash than Scorch or Legion do. But with Turbo Engine, Ronin, Northstar, Monarch, Ion, and Tone, whenever you use this Titan kit on them, get 1 extra dash. With Scorch and Legion, it's only reduced dash cooldown, but it's like it cuts the dash cooldown in half, so it's still really effective whenever you. I feel like it's actually of best use on Legion and Scorch, but obviously I would prefer them also on any other Titan as opposed to any of the other Titan kits, which are Overcore. Titan Core starts with 20% build time. You gotta build the Titan Core by dealing damage and shit, so it always starts with 20% no matter what, even if you just used it. From when you drop to when you drop dead, it always starts with 20% build time. Nuclear ejection. Whenever you eject Wall Doom, it causes your Titan to detonate his core, causing nearby enemies massive damage. Nuke your Titan. Your Titan turns into a nuke. But it has a really big load time. It's like, and then you eject. Like it gives your enemies a lot of warning. So like, unless you are in the exact right place at a really good time, and usually if people don't notice you, then it's not that good. You know, it's usually only of good use on Ronin or North Star because they have low health, they get to Doom quickly, and are able to actually get in places. Hold on, I gotta message someone. Alright, anyways. Counter ready, 1 extra electric smoke countermeasure. I think unless you're in frontier defense, you can only have 1 electric smoke at a time as a Titan, unless you're in frontier defense. I'll talk about that later. So this allows you to have an extra countermeasure. I think, wait, so doesn't it by default? Hold on. Yeah. This is literally useless in frontier defense. So in multiplayer, it allows you 1 extra electric smoke countermeasure. Basically, if you really hate like getting clambered on by pilots, then use this. But even then, it's not that good. It just gives you 1 extra, so. And I haven't even talked about the fact that you can still technically use electric smoke as an offensive option. If a Titan's up in your face like Scorch, you could use your electric smoke to try to deter him. Usually it doesn't because they have high health, but it still helps deal damage to him if you're gonna die. Anyways. Continuing on, North Star Kit, Piercing Shot. So before I do that, I'm explaining his abilities. Flight Core, hover, unleashing rockets at targets below. Usually does quite a bit of damage, but requires you to be pretty close to the enemy. It only has like a medium range before becoming like immediately less effective. So it's very much a like high risk, high reward type thing. You have very low health, so this exposes you, but it also does pretty high damage. Cluster Missile creates sustained explosions on impact. You fire a missile, and then it creates effectively like a trap type thing where you fire a missile at a place and it starts releasing a bunch of cluster bombs, and it's constantly exploding for like a few seconds until it withers away after it's done. Tether Trap, mine that locks nearby enemy Titans down. So you place this down wherever, it doesn't matter where. If a Titan gets near it, it like shoots at the Titan and it locks them in place. And the only way they can get out is to either wait for it to be done or to shoot it. Which that means they also need to find it. Which they can generally see because they can see the wire going from them to the trap, but it still usually is an inconvenience. VTOL Hover, Vertical Takeoff Hover. The only Titan that can do it is pretty much the most vulnerable Titan, but also the highest the Titan with the highest damage. Not technically sustained damage, I think. That would be damage over time. This is more like, I guess, more damage in sudden time, or like higher periods of damage, but it's like space in between them. So plasma railgun, sniper railgun, charges while zoomed, hold left trigger to charge. Basically, it's your generic sniper, except when you're aiming down sights, if you want it to do max damage, you need to have it aimed down sights for 5 seconds to do max damage. You can still fire without charging up at all, and without being aimed in, although it's very inaccurate and does very low damage. The only thing it kills is pilots instantly. No matter how much you charge it, this thing instantly kills pilots. But you can still charge or fire it when it's not fully charged. It'll just do less damage. Anyways. So, for our North Star kit, we have piercing shot. Plasma railgun round fires through targets, which is self-explanatory. It fires through multiple targets. If there's multiple Titans, then it fires through all of them. I don't think it loses any damage either. It just fires through infinite amounts of them. But I think, obviously, I think the bullet still has drop, and it'll still be destroyed if it hits a wall, but still. Cluster missile. Cluster missiles' secondary explosions hit a larger range and last longer. Whenever it hits a place, the range of the cluster bomb explosions and the range and like the amount of time it lasts is longer, and the range is larger. So yeah, self-explanatory. Twin traps. Tether trap fires 2 traps. So this one's a little less self-explanatory. Whenever you trap, it fires 2 of them. And obviously, I know that sounds self-explanatory, but you know what? Actually, it is. I'm dumb. It fires 2 traps, makes it generally harder for them to escape, gives you more time to shoot them while they're vulnerable. Viper thrusters move faster during hover and flight core. Self-explanatory. Whenever you're using hover or flight core, you move faster than you normally would. Not faster than when you walk, just faster than you normally would. Threat optics. Enemies are highlighted while zooming in. This is particularly good when you're trying to goose an enemy, aka whenever an enemy pilot ejects from their Titan, they get ejected into the air really high. Tone is particularly good at goosing people, aka killing pilots in midair after they eject, but North Star is also able to do it too. It just takes a lot more skill. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm saying skill because it takes a lot more time for it to charge, and it's a lot harder too because it's not as hit scan. It also has a slower travel time, I'm pretty sure. It's a lot of things. But this makes it a little easier because it highlights not only pilots, but it also highlights Titans, which is just a quality of life thing, I usually use this, though. You'll understand why it says Viper thrusters when I play the campaign. Ronan. Okay. He has he has a shotgun. His melee does more damage because he has a sword, and he swings that sword whenever he melees. That's his thing. Arc wave slows and damages enemies. He drags his sword along the ground to fire forth a wave, aka kind of like Scorch Core but thinner, that slows and damages enemies, slows and damages pilots and Titans whenever it hits them, and whenever pilots go through it. It can't really hit pilots. Sword block reduces damage from incoming fire. You can hold up sword block for as long as you want, but unlike most other offensive or defensive abilities, it doesn't do some sort of special thing. It just defends you. It just cuts damage that's coming in from the direction you're looking by 30%, I want to say. So I think it wasn't 30%, or was it 60%? I don't remember. It's good, effective. It's pretty good. Phase dash, quick directional phase shift. Phase shift we were talking about earlier? That tactical ability, it's just that, except you also dash automatically when you use it while you're in the upside down, which is the canonical name for that phase world. That's the canonical name in Titanfall. Titanfall did it first. I'm just joking. Stranger Things probably started before Titanfall came out. I don't know. I'm stupid. Anyways, you can also dash while in phase dash, making it to where you travel longer distances before getting out of the dash. So yeah, that's cool. Anyways, your Ronin kits. Ricochet rounds. Lead walls rounds bounce off surfaces. That's the name of the shotgun. self-explanatory. They bounce off surfaces. I think they can bounce an infinite number of times. I think maybe, or it might just be 2 or 3, probably just 2 or 3. It just helps with killing pilots and like only pilots, pretty much. Thunderstorm. Arcwave has 2 charges. Self-explanatory. Arcwave can be used 2 times before having to cool down. Temporal Anomaly. Phase dash is available more often, shorter cooldown. Doesn't allow you to have 2 charges, which would be busted, but it does have a shorter cooldown. Highlander. Titan kills extended duration of Sword Core. So, I forgot to explain it. Sword Core electrifies broadsword, empowering attacks, and sword block. Sword block now blocks 90% of damage coming in. I know, because I remember that. And you pull out your sword, electrify it, and each swing does, like, I think, half to, like, a third, half, something like that, of a Titan's health per swing. But also, you can be executed while using Sword Core, so do be careful. But also, and remember, don't just use it as a last-ditch effort, because that, like, almost never works. I've started playing Ronin a little more recently, because I'm trying to get better at every Titan possible, and I've learned, don't just use Sword Core to, like, Sword Core. Yes, you may, every once in a while, in a blue moon, be able to, like, go on a killing spree, where you, like, kill 3 Titans in a row, and you win the game. Yes, that can happen. That's happened to me, like, once, maybe twice before, in my entire time of playing this game, when I'm playing Ronin. But most of the time, it's better used when you have either A, a Titan that you see, and you want to ambush him, and you see that he doesn't have friends around, and like, I don't know, you just want to really get that kill, you know? And make sure you don't die. Because, like, it's really useful when you see, like, an Ogre Titan, right? And you're like, shit, I can't kill him with my normal shit, like shooting my lead wall and hitting him with my melee. I can't do that. So you're like, well, to be helpful to my team, I'm going to use Sword Core on this guy and hurt him and kill him more easily. So yeah, that. Or it can be used for chasing down that little shit, that little fucking monarch or some shit that shot you like a couple of times, took out like a 6th of your health, and you shot him back a couple of times, and now he's running away, and you missed your arc wave, or you used it, you just weren't able to kill him after using it. So you just chase down that little shit with Sword Core, and not to mention, Sword Core also makes your not phase dash, it also makes, I think generally all your abilities have a pretty short, like a much shorter cooldown, especially your regular dashes, which like effectively come back instantly, like after like 0.0, like 0.1 second, 0.2 seconds, something like that. It like really cuts them down. So yeah, it can also just be used for chasing down that little shit that damaged you and refuses to die, which is a lot usually what I use it for. Okay, almost done. Okay, next we got Tone. Everything. Tone, okay. Defensive shit. Particle wall. You know a wall? The wall that you could deploy in front of your pilot and it protects them for a bit of time? That's it. That's what particle wall is. Except with particle wall, it changes color as it gets lower health. It fades more into red until it breaks. Or it also has just a deployment time where it'll only stay up for a certain amount of time. So after you use it, so it's not just like a permanent wall until they destroy it. No, it'll also just stay up for a short amount of time before going out of deployment and going on cooldown. Tracking missiles. Fire missiles at fully locked enemies. Sonar lock grants partial lock on. Tracker cannon grants partial lock on. So, the thing with Tone is what he does, he has to grant a full lock on, which is 3 locks. Which sonar lock grants 1 lock on, and tracker cannon grants 1 lock on when you shoot it. And basically, semi-auto explosive rounds, self-explanatory, and they kill pilots in 1 shot. Pretty much every Titan weapon does, except for Ion and Monarch, I think. Anyways, so you shoot them 3 times, or you shoot them twice and use sonar lock, you use sonar lock and shoot them twice, something along the lines. And you can shoot your tracking rockets, which is Tone's like only fucking damage output, which means I would not recommend Tone for anyone usually. There are some people that are really good with Tone though, but I would definitely not recommend it if you're new. Sonar lock also is just pretty much, pulse blade, how it revealed enemies even behind walls and shit. Does that, except mostly to Titans. It also does it to pilots, but it's mostly used for seeing Titans through walls as well. So anyways, their kits have enhanced tracker rounds. Critical hit, apply 2 tracker marks to targets. Self-explanatory. You hit them in like the eye or the vents or whatever critical hit parts that they have, and it applies 2 tracker marks. I don't know. I know Tone, his like front face plate is a critical part, but what is his other one? I forgot. I don't think it's those tiny ass vents, right? What is his? Maybe he only has 1 critical part. Dang, I don't know. Maybe it's like the. Yeah, maybe it's that like only Ogre Titans have like 3 only Ogre Titans have like 3 critical parts, but every other Titan only has like 1, I think. Oh, weird. Never noticed that. Anyways, so yeah, that's self-explanatory. Particle wall lasts longer and blocks more damage, also self-explanatory. Pulse echo. After a short delay, sonar pulse echoes a second pulse. So basically, what it does is when you shoot your thing out, it pulses. Obviously, it's sonar pulse. The sonar pulse pulses, and it gives you it scans, and whenever it sees a Titan or whatever, and it tells you, and then that's it. That's all it does. Grants a partial lock-on that Titan, whatever. But if you put this on, after a short delay, after the first scan, it'll do another one. So basically, if you time it right, or if you just stick the sonar lock to a Titan, after you wait a second, it'll be 2 lock-on. It'll be locked on twice, which is pretty cool. Rocket barrage. Tracker rockets fire 2 additional missiles. Not worth it. Not in the slightest. Don't even think about it. Burst loader. Aiming allows the 40mm to store up to 3 shots to burst fire. This is cool because you can just be aiming down sight. I used this whenever I would play Tone. I just tried him out and I used this. I would hold aim down sights for the 3 burst, and then I'd just like walk around fully loaded up, and as soon as I saw someone, ding ding ding, and they'd be like, what the fuck, and I'd shoot my rockets at them. It's pretty cool for like ambushing, I guess, as well, but yeah. Okay, anyways, moving on. Legion, giant ass minigun, self-explanatory. He has a gun shield, which whenever he clicks that's his defensive ability. It deploys a shield around the cannon and forces it to be spun up. Basically, when you aim down sights, it spins up the cannon. You can fire instantly. When you don't aim down sights, you need to wait a second, either to aim down sights to be able to keep the cannon spun up, or if you're just holding down fire, you need to wait a minute for it to spin up and fire. It's just how Heavy's minigun works in TF2, like not Titanfall 2, but Team Fortress. It also has the ability to switch between close range and long range rounds. Basically, when you mode switch, I'm stealing this joke, when you mode switch, Legion can finally put his reading glasses on and see that little shit 30 meters away camping with the archer. Basically, it zooms in and makes his shots a lot more accurate. It's more like the XO13 cannon, aka the default assault rifle for Titans. And shit. That's about it. Now you're wondering, why wouldn't you just use that? Well, also, I think it does a little less damage. I think precision rounds do a little less damage. And even if they don't, you also would want to be able to not just see a really close-up version. You'd also want to be able to see around you when you're attacking someone. And miniguns, the whole thing is that they fire in a pretty big area, so, you'd want that as well. Anyways, next, his ability is Power Shot. Close range, it's just a bullet sneeze. It's effectively a shotgun, and that's it. It knocks back nearby enemies. Long range, it's just a worse plasma railgun shot, effectively. I don't usually use it, but it is kind of useful if there's that one Titan running away really far away and you don't think you'll be able to damage him before he goes behind something. You can use a power shot and kill him, but that's incredibly niche. But, whatever. It doesn't matter. Use it how you want. Alright, Legion Kit. Enhanced ammo capacity. Increases the ammo capacity of the Predator cannon. It only has like 40 bullets, which is like 2 more seconds of firing. Sensor array. Alright, Smart Core, basically, it's just a smart pistol. If you don't know what a smart pistol is, aimbot, that's what this core is. It's aimbot. It is just aimbot. It aimbots on all pilots, all Titans critical spots, shit like that. That's it. I don't know why people complain about the smart pistol, but don't complain about this. Anyways, Center array. Smart core lasts longer. Self-explanatory. Bulwark. Gun shield blocks twice as much damage. Self-explanatory. Lightweight alloys. Move faster while the predator cannon is spun up. When you have the predator cannon spun up, aka you're aiming down sights, you move a lot slower. This makes you move faster instead of, just makes you move generally faster. Instead, it's not like you're moving faster than your walk speed when you have it spun up. No, you just generally move faster. That's probably self-explanatory though. Hidden compartment. Power shot has 2 charges. Power shot damage reduced by 15%. This is absolutely, hands down, the best fucking thing. The best kit you can use. Because power shot, I haven't explained it, but power shot, Jesus Christ, that does so much damage. It takes out like half of a Titan's health, I'm pretty sure. Like half, or maybe a little more than half of a Titan's health whenever you use it. And it just, like, takes out about half, I think about half of a medium Titan, about like a third of a ogre class, and pretty much like 3/4 of a strider class's health. It is amazing. So, and 15%, that's fucking nothing for a complete extra charge. Also, gun shield doesn't technically protect all of you. It leaves a little bit of your legs exposed, but I wouldn't recommend crouching just to not leave your legs exposed. Almost no one aims there except for Scorch, but even then, Scorch generally, his thing is damaging people through the ground, so you wouldn't be able to block that usually anyways. Okay. Finally, we're almost done. We have Monarch. Alright. Before I get into all this shit, I'm just gonna do the kits. Alright. Shield amplifier. Energy siphon. Okay, fine. They have their abilities. Energy Siphon slows enemies and generates shields. Heavily armored targets generate more shield. Basically, you shoot this at someone, it's like an arc grenade from long range. And it generates a small bit of shield when you hit them, but that's not really what they use it for. They use it to slow you down and make you more vulnerable. Rocket Salvo launches an unguided rocket swarm. Rearm refreshes the cooldown of your dash, offensive, and defensive ability. That is it. That's all there is to it. Alright. Shield Amplifier. Energy Siphon shield gain is increased by 25%. Not at all worth it. Rapid Rearm. Reduces the cooldown of Rearm by 5 seconds. Pretty goddamn busted. But still not worth it. Survival of the Fittest. Batteries can repair Monarch out of Doom State. Batteries normally just give you shield when you're in Doom State. So I would say yes, this is second, but not the most worth it. Energy Thief. Jesus Christ. So it gives you not only a unique execution, which is cool as fuck, but core meter is earned 10% faster, that's not what it's for, and Titan executions steal a battery. If you don't understand what this means, so basically, when you execute a Titan, aka you get him into Doom State, you punch him, does the execution, you steal a battery, putting your health back up after you fought someone. So it just means you effectively just create an infinite energy loop where you're always healed after a fight. Although it can backfire, because people know you're going to instantly go for them as soon as they're in Doom State, because you need the food, aka the batteries. It can backfire, but it's also absolutely the best Monarch kit you can use. And we haven't even gotten into the core shit. Its core is the most unique core. Upgrade core. Recharges your Titan shields and upgrades your Titan in the order of these upgrades above. These 3. In each of these slots, you have 3 different core upgrades you can use. Core upgrade 1. You have arc rounds, missile racks, and energy transfer. Hitting friendly Titans with energy siphon gives them shield. It doesn't take from your shield, it just gives them shield, but it's a fucking minuscule amount of shield. Don't use this. Missile racks. Rocket salvo fires twice the amount of missiles. If you really, really want to be funny and just be a giant fucking missile launcher, then yes, this is your thing. But it's not the most effective. XO13 rounds deal more damage to shields and drain energy from vortex and thermal shields, increases ammo capacity as well. Ammo capacity, I think it gives you maybe like an extra few seconds of firing, like legions, but deal more damage is the fucking understatement of the century. It deals quite a bit more damage, I'll say, and it drains your defensive ability. Not everyone's defensive ability, just Vortex and Thermal Shields, which is Ion and Scorches, but those are like the main defensive abilities, and every other one is just like generally have a way to exploit it. And Northstar doesn't even have a defensive ability, so yeah. Core upgrade 2, Maelstrom. Electric smoke is intensified, dealing more damage to Titans and pilots. I generally wouldn't say this. I generally wouldn't say you'd want this, to be honest. It's not bad, definitely. It does a fair bit of damage, yeah, but I still wouldn't generally recommend this. Energy field. Energy siphon affects a large area around the point of impact. So basically, if you hit multiple Titans, you steal more shield, but it's a small enough area where they all need to be super clumped up to be able to hit multiple Titans, so it just generally doesn't work. Unless you're in Frontier Defense, which even then I wouldn't recommend it. Because rearm and reload, faster rearm and reload speeds. Rearm and reload, as you saw before, you reload all your offensive, defensive ability, whatever. But this cuts the time from like 4 seconds to 2. Usually you'd be like vulnerable for like 4 seconds reloading, but this just makes it fucking like instant. It's like 1-2 seconds, something like that. This is absolutely the best core grade upgrade you can get in this area. Okay. Multi-target missile. Hold rocket salvo to lock onto heavily armored targets. Missiles deal more damage. That's cool, especially if you're going for the funny, haha, I'm a missile launcher. XL13 accelerator installs the accelerator mod for the XL13, increasing its max fire rate damage. It increases the damage a fucking ton, but also it's bad because a Titan can just go behind something and you need to stop firing so you can actually move anywhere. Like, because it slows down your fire. You don't move as fast when you're firing. So you just need to stop firing, losing all your acceleration, just to be able to move to a place where you can't actually shoot them. Or they'll just move to cover again and repeat, rinse and repeat. But dear God. Superior chassis upgrades the Monarch's max health and removes weak point vulnerabilities. You may think, oh, hey, that's not that bad, right? Scorch and Legion have 12,500 health. Do you want to know how much health this makes Monarch have? 15,000. That is fucking 2,500 more than an ogre class, and you don't have any of the downsides of being an ogre class, like being slower or having like being slower, being more vulnerable to being more vulnerable. I don't know. It's like you don't have any of the downsides. I can't really list them because I can't think of more than being slower. But the entire point of being an ogre is you're slower, you know, you're not as ready as like other Titans, you're not as mobile. But this removes that. You have the health of an ogre Titan now. Congratulations. You are OP. Kill everyone. Now, I'm not saying that Monarch is OP, because it definitely takes skill to play Monarch, I will say, but everyone hates Monarch. Not like hates, but everyone dislikes Monarch because of the fact, just pretty much purely the superior chassis upgrade, and also a lot of Monarchs seem to act high and mighty. They think some Monarch mains will think that they're better than everyone. I'm not saying that's all Monarch mains. No offense to any Monarch mains, but like Monarch mains kind of have a reputation for that. A little bit. But you have to survive 3 cores. You have to survive long enough and deal enough damage to get 3 cores, which takes skill. I will definitely say it takes skill to do that. And quite a bit of it too. So yeah. It's very complicated. Would never in a million years recommend this for a beginner. But if you're good at it, it can be a real pain in the ass to the enemy team. Also, each Titan has their own little Titan briefing, which is like a video. It doesn't really actually tell you, but it like visually shows you what the shit looks like. See, like that's what the gas trap looks like. Very cool. I do recommend you watch them yourself. Yeah. Oh yeah. Something I forgot to mention about Scorcher's core, whenever he uses it, if the Titan is even a tiny bit below max health, or even a tiny bit below half of their max health, right? Their first health bar, not their doomsday health bar, even a tiny bit below half of their health. When you use Flame Core and it hits them, it will instantly kill them. Bypassing Doom State completely, it will instantly kill them. It's not even that it does that much damage, that's just a special property of it. But yeah, I do highly recommend you watch these if you want to, just to get a look at what they are, at what they do, but not right now if you're watching the VOD. I would like watch time, please. Please. Okay, finally there's the boosts, which are very simple. You get these as a pilot by reaching a certain point of your Titan meter, aka your ultimate meter. They do different things. And they have different costs to activate. So basically, they have different amounts of your Titan thing you have to charge before getting it. So basically, you got amped weapons, activation cost 80%, temporarily increased damage for primary and secondary. You need to have 80% of your Titan meter to be able to use this boost. It doesn't take away your Titan meter. No, you just need to reach a certain amount of Titan meter before using it. Ticks. Spider-Light drones actively seek out enemies before self-detonation, comes with 2 charges. The limit is 6 in the inventory. You can technically have multiple boosts. Sure, after you get your Titan down, you cannot use your Titan again. You can't use your Titan, like, you can't use your boost again. Like, you can't gain boost meter when you already have your Titan down. But if you call your Titan down 3 times, you will have 6 ticks in your inventory if you haven't used them at all, which I wouldn't recommend doing. I would recommend as soon as you get a tick if you're using them. These are pretty much my favorite boost. If you have a tick, immediately use it, because it's pretty much just a free kill usually. What they do, they run around, they seek enemies, and they self-detonate. They give enemies a small warning before detonating, but if they shoot them or anything like that, they'll instantly detonate. So yeah. You got your pilot sentry, which is a sentry, 1 minute lifetime. You have the limit of 3 in inventory. Map hack reveals enemies to your entire team. This is only a short amount of time. This is only a certain amount of time, but it's very useful. Battery backup. Give yourself a free battery. In my opinion, the best one. Replace with amp weapons in modes that only have pilots, like Pilot v Pilot and Live Fire, obviously. You can't have. There's no reason to have a battery if you don't have a Titan. Radar jammers scramble the enemy's radar. The worse and more annoying younger brother of map hack. By worse, I mean bad, like as in bad to use, not bad against someone. Because sure, it scrambles their radar, but surprise, surprise, in this high action, high octane game, sure, people use their radar, but they don't use it a whole lot. They prefer to use their eyes. Titan Sentry, same as Pilot Sentry, except it hurts. Except it is against Titans instead of pilots. It shoots out like balls of energy. I think they can still hit pilots, but they're a lot less likely to. Yeah. And replace with amped weapons and Pilot v Pilots, live fire modes. There's no reason to have a Titan. I think they don't actually aim for pilots, actually. So they're replaced with amped weapons in Pilot v Pilots and live fire modes. Smart Pistol. Locks onto nearby targets for guaranteed hits, 2 12-round magazines. Do not use this. Do not fucking use this. Do not. Do not. It is the most OP boost. It only requires 60% activation cost as opposed to most of these things costing like 70, like 60 or less, or 60 or more. Or like most of these costing like 70 or more. It only costs 60 to have literal fucking instant kill aimbot. It takes like 1/1,000,000th of a second to lock on. Like half a second to lock on, and then you're instantly dead. Don't use it. Phase rewind, also don't use this. Phase shift to a location, it's just phase shift, except it rewinds you. It's just the opposite, I'm pretty sure, of phase dash. Phase shift to a location visited shortly before activation, like 4 seconds before activating. It's just not useful. Hardcover, reinforced pilot-sized particle shield. Hardcover is just it's just AWOL, except with more health, and I think it might be a little larger. And I don't think it amps outgoing shots, but I think no, it does. It amps outgoing shots, but it's just a little larger and has a little more health. Holopilot Nova. It's just Holopilot, except it's multiple. It creates 3 decoys of yourself that go out in 3 different directions in like a cone shape. Dice roll, randomly chosen boost is activated on use. It has 50% cost, so there's a not it's a pretty good chance that you'll have saved activation cost by using dice roll, because most of these ones, at least the better ones, use like 70%, 80% or more. So yeah, it's just also if you're getting bored. Alrighty. I think that's actually it. There's also shit like factions, which with factions, each faction, whenever you like level it up, which is just, you just level up a faction by playing with them, pretty much. You level up a faction by playing with them, they give you rewards for leveling up, and everyone widely accepts Marvin's Finest Hour as the best faction, because there's a Marvin. You don't know what a Marvin is? You haven't played Apex Legends or Titanfall? Play it, but as you can tell, this man is precious. He is so kind. We love Marvin. Basically his backstory: I'm running out of moonshine, Marvin. You stay here and wave these guys through. I'll be back in an hour. Don't say a word. Directive received 3,495 days ago. So he was left by his owner. And I have a running theory, and I think other people do too, that fucking Barker of the Angel...
100%.
Shush, Barker. That Barker of the Angel City Elite is the person that left him, because he's an ex-IMC officer whose loyalties now mostly lie with a bottle of moonshine. I'm running out of moonshine, Mars. You stay here and wave these guys through, and it sounds like how he'd talk. He sounds like he'd talk that way.
This is Barker.
You gotta agree with me on this, guys. Anyways, I have a personal vendetta against Barker because of that, but anyways, yeah. Each of them have different people running them, and yeah, they all have different rewards for leveling up. I always use Marvin's Finest Hour because I am obligated to. Alright. Obviously, there's stuff like banners and patches and customizations and shit, but I'm not going to get into that because that is already long enough. So, I have made you all wait long enough. Let's play, I'll just search for all of the modes that have, Titans and pilots. I think... I usually don't play Bounty Hunt, so I'll just do Capture the Flag. You know what? Fuck it, I'll do Bounty Hunt. Alright. Also, you see that there? When you can invite the network you are in, which is basically their clans. You can join networks, aka clans, and you can invite that network to play. And there's a certain amount of slots that it can fill, and you can invite them to pretty much everything.
control restored.
Guard mode online. Thermal systems active.
Welcome back. Pilot mode online. Hostile pilot contained and destroyed. Enemy pilot attacking. Friendly Titan attacking your target. Excessive damage. Critical damage is steady. Being recovered by. Friendly pilot attacking your target. Flame cores ready. Enemy pilot attacking. Warning. Potential reactor overload.
Battery required.
pilot destroyed. Friendly pilot on the hull.
manual operation.
Jump successful. Now it's your time to shine. Woo! You said it, brother. Good luck down there.
Okay, pilots, the harvester's up and running. Defend it from the remnant fleet and keep the area clear.
You got this. Woo!
Hell yeah, they do.
I'm detecting incoming enemy signatures. Not a whole lot, but don't get cocky.
Get ready. First wave inbound. I'm seeing cloak drones. Take them out so you can see what you're fighting. The harvester shields are absorbing damage. The shield is recharging. Don't let the remnant fleet damage it.
What is that? Do we have any pilots in the area?
The harvester shield is taking some hits. Give it some cover. Shields are back online.
Harvester shields are dropping.
The harvester shields are about to go down. Protect it.
The harvester shield is recharging, guys. Do us a favor, keep it protected. The harvester shield is back up.
The harvester shield is taking some hits. Give it some cover. Harvester shields back up to 100%.
Reloading.
team. Keep it together. Listen up, team. The harvester shields are absorbing damage. Put an end to it.
Please, put an end to it, please. Good news, team. Pilot
Mortar specters are still hitting the harvester.
I say you hit him back. Hit him back hard.
Some impressive work, don't you think, Davis? Davis! He's literally speechless.
Guess what? Your Titan is ready to kick some ass.
Stand by for Titanfall.
I can do better than that.
Nice work out there. Here are some credits. Use them to build up some defenses.
Make yourself a little more badass.
Glad to have you back, pilot. We are a stronger team together.
Mortar specters on the rooftops. Everyone else is ready to go. Let me know when you're ready, pilot.
Hey, sorry to bother you, but you ready? We're all waiting for you.
Pilot, we've got another wave inbound.
Another day, another wave. Bring it on.
Taking some hits. Give it some cover. Harvester shields are back online.